Well, I got it cleaned up a bit more. Started folding up that piece. I did have this piece here, but I ran into an issue. So, had that piece in there, did a little bit of stretching on that, a little shrinking on this, and then folded it there. And not bad for my first panel I've ever made. It was okay, but I found that there's that curve, but then there's a compound curve. It comes out, kicks in, and goes down. And then that kicks down. So it's too much to make out of one piece. So what I did was cut it there, stretched a little here, so to bring it that curve, shrink it here to bring that back in, and now I can weld that back down to here, and then this little 90-degree flange, I can just either cut it off here. I left a little extra on there so I can trim it off, but I can either weld that piece onto it or just make a new one out of flat and then just cut it flat and cut it. But you can see it's a complex little piece, and I leave a little extra so I can just do a cut here, there, and there all the way down, and I'll be able to cut a little bit lower here, and then I can weld up that brace there. That way it's nice and sturdy when I do that plug weld back onto there. And yeah, it was a bit more complex than I thought it was. So actually it's supposed to look like so. But here's the piece I'm trying to copy. So it was bashed. And this is the piece that wraps around. So just need to add that little bit on there, like so. And that lays in there nice and easy, so that's not a problem then. And once that's done, so I line it up right about there, and right about there. See, this will sink in this way. Once I cut that out, it'll slide in the thickness of the metal, so that'll be just right to land in there. And the shield, once that's lined up there, lands perfect. It did have that extra bit there, so at least it won't be bent out like it was probably before. And yeah, that's why it rusted out. If you don't have some sort of way to kick the water out and down out of there, it just stays in there. Okay, a little bit more refinement. Weld that little piece and weld the 90 on there, and it'll be good to go to pop in. And then the next part will be this little bit here. I cleaned this up a little bit more so you could see how the original metal, I'll probably trim it back to just below that plug weld. And it goes, I'll just take it down here, and that is supposed to kick out. This, I might have to make it in one piece out to here, do a curve, and then 2, 3, so it'll be about 4 or 5 pieces, and then this piece will just come down there like that. But it'll feel like serious progress, so once that piece is in, yeah, that's much better. And then I'll trim that off back here. Once I weld that to there and push it in, it'll be about there. And fold it over. Cool.